Hello everyone, welcome to the Femafricmaths channel. We are currently in South Africa and we are excited to bring you an interview of a maths queen. Hello Cerene, welcome to our channel. We'd like you to start with a journey you've had with mathematics from when you were young till now.
Sure, thanks Angela. So my journey started, I'd say, from primary school. My parents took a huge interest in ensuring that I didn't have the common sort of toys that a girls would play with, right? So I'd be playing with unconventional things, more so puzzles, things that engage my imagination, and being constructive, like hands-on play as well. So I didn't have the typical dolls, etc., that you'd expect a girl to play with.
Yeah.
That kind of piqued my interest because I was a bit different growing up because of that. But I enjoyed mathematics, I'd say from senior primary school, and I became independent in what I wanted to learn. So by the time I got to high school in South Africa, I was learning the mathematics ahead of what was being taught. And I used to take part in lots of extracurricular activities that were hosted in South Africa pertaining to mathematics. Those included things like the Maths Challenge. It's like group activities where you participate with other students to win competitions, as well as the Olympiads that we heard Prof. Kirsten Jordan mention. And there was something called a Maths Talk. It's where you pick an area that you enjoy and you deliver a talk about it. So it's like a conference presentation, but
technical.
So you make it as technical as you want. So like I spoke about the hairy ball conjecture, and from a high school student's perspective, of course I didn't understand the technical mathematics, but I could understand the intuition behind it, and I would talk about theorem and proof because those things already fascinated me back then. So that was my interaction, and so I came to university. So maybe to give you better context, I grew up in not a disadvantaged community, but a typical poor community in KwaZulu-Natal. And there, the schools that you'd go to, the public schools, I think maybe our teachers didn't have much access to explaining to you what you could do with this mathematics knowledge you have. So I was pushed into doing actuarial science. That's what
for the university?
Yeah, so that's what I applied to do. And then I got there in week 1, and I got the textbooks and I looked at these things and like, okay, this is not the mathematics I want to do. Yes, you do the first year math, etc., but you're doing other things. And so I deregistered from that course, and then I did just a BSc in mathematical science.
Because they didn't have the proofs and the theorems that you were more interested in?
Exactly, you're not exposed to that in the first year, but also it was a lot of other things like accounting, economics. I still ended up doing a little bit of those things to just broaden my horizons, but I knew that based on the content I saw, it was not what I wanted.
Wow, interesting. So from undergrad in BSc in mathematics, what did you do afterwards?
So I decided to major, to keep it broad, I majored in pure math, applied mathematics and statistics, right? So I did a little bit of everything in that degree, still completed it in 3 years, and then in the South African system you do a BSc honours degree. And for that, by the time I did this 3 years of pure applied and stats, I knew I love pure mathematics. And so I did my honours in pure mathematics. During that honours time and also the 3rd year, I had met my supervisor. Right? And so that relationship was building and building. My supervisors.
You mean your PhD supervisor?
Masters and PhD. They supervised me for both. I loved them so much. We worked so well. They were like my second parents, my academic parents. And and so I did all of my studies at the same university. Some may say that's probably not a good idea because you're not getting exposure. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I grew from that. And I'm still happy with the decisions I made.
Wow. Yeah. So you graduated with a PhD from the same university?
Yes.
What next did you do?
So after I completed my PhD, I registered for a postdoc.
Yeah.
And then while doing a postdoc, there was a permanent position that came up for me at the University of Johannesburg, and my supervisors of my postdoc pushed me to apply. So I applied, and I got invited for the interview, and it was successful. So they were very supportive. I then terminated the postdoc, but still continued with the research, just not under the constraints of the postdoc, and I took up the permanent position. That itself also comes with its own challenges.
At the University
of Johannesburg.
Oh, okay.
And so I moved from KwaZulu-Natal to Gauteng.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah. So you mentioned the fact that you were exposed to a lot of mathematical objects or thinking from a young age. What else do you think motivated you to choose this career? Did you have anyone you looked up to who was following a similar path that made you choose it, or was all based on the extracurricular things you?
I think it was a collection of everything. Influences of people around me, what I saw, what I enjoyed, but mostly it was guided by what I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed mathematics, right? I always wanted to ask questions. I always wanted to understand how things worked. And mathematics allows me to do that. Of course, I slightly went off path thinking I should do actuarial science, but I quickly came on board again.
Wow. So very often when we share our journeys, we tend to think that there were no challenges and everything was all rosy. Did you face any challenges? If yes, what were these challenges and how did you overcome them?
So in the South African context, and probably this is the same everywhere else, it is not common for females to pursue degrees in mathematics or in some other sciences, right? So that for me was my experience, where in third year I was the only girl in the real analysis class.
What was the number?
We had 13 students, right? And then in honors, again, I was the only girl in all of the pure math courses. So that was what I experienced, and then going to other universities, like I got opportunities through my supervisors to attend conferences, etc. You observe the same thing. The girls are pretty much outnumbered or non-existent. Luckily for me, one of my supervisors was a female, and I looked up to her while going through all of this. Yes, but if I may share, this journey, this experience led to the creation of something many years later.
Definitely, I was going to come to that. You face this challenge of how you are trying to remedy this, right? What solution do you have for this?
Yes, so I thought about it. It was not an immediate answer, and I didn't think about it immediately because for me, I was just focused on my studies. But now in an academic career where you can say I have some time, but maybe other people may say, no, you don't have time to do this. So after thinking about it, I realized I want to change that narrative for other girls. And I did that by starting a program called STEM Mentor.
Okay, so STEM for science, technology, engineering, mathematics?
Yes.
Meant for mentor?
Yes, so mentor the word, but I replaced the OR with HER, so it's her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Meant her.
Right, so it's meant her.
Yeah.
And in this program, we identify girls in their schooling career, the end of the schooling career in grade 12 in South Africa, who want to pursue careers in STEM fields. Their teachers have to nominate them to join the program.
Okay.
And then we pair them. After we have a selection process, we pair these students with academic mentors from university, female academic mentors from university. We help them bridge the school-university gap, and they continue to remain in the program until they've completed their first degree.
Oh, so about 3 to 4 years?
About 4 years. Because it's the year that they're in the last year of school, and their 3-year degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very comprehensive. All the 4 years is the same mentor
So they have extensive mentorship in the first year, one-on-one meetings as often as every month. And then once they are at university, we focus on group mentorship rather than one-on-one mentorship, and so we have group meetings to check up on their progress.
Yeah. So that's when you go for lunches or?
Absolutely, and we also do online meetings.
Okay.
For those who require data, then we sponsor them with the data.
Yeah. Yeah. So very often when you encounter challenges, it's good to also see how you can make the path a bit straighter for the others behind you. Okay. So we'll be ending soon. You mentioned that you are from KwaZulu Natal. You talked about your community, how you studied there, and how you were the only female very often in class. In a minute, can you share an inspiring message with a young person, a young girl who's watching you from KwaZulu Natal, who has interest in mathematics, right? And would love to pursue a career? What would be your encouraging message, your inspiring message in a minute to that young person?
Okay, so I'd say stick to what you love. Let that guide you, because ultimately you want to live a fulfilling life where you're happy doing what you love every single day. I'd also like to say, don't conform to the norms of society. It is okay to be a disruptor in a very specific way where it promotes growth for yourself and society. So think very carefully about the legacy you want to leave and how you want to make the world a better place through your actions, through your knowledge, and what you can leave behind.
Wow, that's very very profound. So your legacy is 10 men's hair, and I believe there are even more programs or more initiatives that will come up. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cerene, for coming. We look forward to sharing your story with the world. Thanks for watching our channel. Bye bye.